Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. And today we're going to be looking at Redart Games catalog. I talked about them before, and I picked out a couple of titles again that I think that you guys will be pretty interested in. A lot of these titles are pretty unique, at least in my opinion. So let's get right into it. Here's the My Memory of Us Collector's Edition. So I've been wanting this for a long time, and I was looking for some unboxing videos online, but nobody had this thing, or at least I couldn't find any unboxings of it. So of course I'm going to do that here, and I'll talk about the game once I get to the gameplay part of it. But I just really wanted to show you guys what was inside of here. Really wanted to give you guys like an example of how Redart does their collector's edition. Now, I do know that Redart Games have done a couple of collector's editions. Obviously, this is going to be my first one, so I'm just going to potentially show you what they put in their collector's editions, or whether it's worth it or not for some of you guys. Now, when I was opening this, I really felt like this wasn't a cheap box. It was like a pull-open type box, so I thought that was very nice. And you can see a little bit of art of the game here. I don't remember who this character is, but it looks like they're hiding from somebody. But here is the art book, very long as you can see. Lots of good art here, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. And here is the soundtrack. I haven't seen a double CD like this in a while, so to this soundtrack. Here's the game itself. Actually comes with a slipcover box for those of you that like that. Now a quick look at the art book. As you can see here, lots of cool art from the game, level design. Probably some stuff that didn't make it into the regular game, but yeah, everything is pretty much in here. And I like the art style of this game. It's just pretty much like a storybook type game. So definitely, I think this will appeal to a lot of people who like story-driven games. Then here's the game itself, slipcover. Will we get a manual inside? Nope, no manual, but that's okay. Here's the funny part, the actual soundtrack came with a manual itself, so that's pretty crazy, but that's definitely a throwback, because a lot of like soundtracks from back in the day did come with manuals for them. And that's pretty much everything that comes with the My Memory of Us Collector's Edition. I thought it was a pretty good collection, very happy with this. Now, we can take a look at some gameplay. I've talked about My Memory of Us on the channel before, and this is a puzzle platformer, and it's narrated by Patrick Stewart. That's one of the things I really like about this game. Now this game is very story driven, so you're going to see pretty much a lot of story cutscenes and things like that, and I typically enjoy that type of thing. So basically this game is one of those games that pretty much tells you about something in the past, and I don't want to ruin the story for you when you find out what happens, but it's actually pretty cool. So a little bit of the story goes like this. A king enters the land, he segregates people, kids are homeless, trying to find homes, and everybody's running around just trying to survive. So you play as two characters, and you can see this as a side-scrolling game. Pretty much you do things like help each other get around so you can get past a certain area. But the driving factor in this game is going to be the story mode. I mean, that's what you're going to be playing for. Not really the puzzles, because they're pretty like simple, you know, like get here from there, move somebody out of the way, help them find an item, whatnot. Simple stuff like that. It doesn't get too crazy from what I've seen, but the story is what's really driving me to play the game. And definitely I like the visuals as well. Check this one out. Here's Gunborg, Dark Matters. So this game is freaking like, oh man, it is over the top awesome. You play as a bounty hunter that's going after these mad aliens on the spaceship. And like when you see her expression, like you can tell like the main character, she's a bit crazy. With the expression on her face, it looks like she enjoys her job way too much. Now, this game is what I would call a twin-stick platform game. You have a jetpack that helps you get through certain obstacles. You have your blade, and you also have a gun. Well, you can pick up guns. Of course, they run out of ammo, so you have to use them sparingly. Another thing that you'll have to utilize in this game is your shield. You can actually deflect enemy bullets back at them. Now, the shield wears down after a certain amount of time, so you can't just overuse it. Now, I did struggle with this game, and it wasn't because, the game is hard or anything like that. It's just, for me, you have to remember the controls, what you have at your disposal, pretty much. You have to use all that stuff because it's going to take all of that to get through some of these levels. You'll be going through a level and everything will be peaceful. All of a sudden, a laser will start chasing you, and you have to go through these obstacles while the laser is chasing you. So it gets very tense. You start to forget stuff. So you have to be very careful. Well, not very just very careful, but just remember the controls because, man, you never know what's going to happen on the next level. And then finally, you'll get to the boss. The bosses in this game tend to be very, I don't want to say puzzle driven, but you just got to remember their patterns and know how to utilize your weapons pretty much. They're fun to fight against, I'll say that much. And it's funny, the dialogue between you and the bosses always changes depending like if you get killed or not. When you restart it, there's like small dialogue talking crap to each other. But anyways, guys, I think this is definitely a game that you guys might want to add to your collection. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And also, if you decide to buy the physical for it, it actually comes with a manual. Here is Hillbilly Doomsday. This is an action platform game, and it reminds you of a lot of old school games from back in the day. I immediately kind of thought of like something like DuckTales, but without the bouncing cane. This game has like pretty much this crazy story where zombies have pretty much like taken over the world, and it's up to one hillbilly to take the world back. And it's a lot of gore in this game, lots of crazy looking people as well. If you like, I love sprite work, man, but man, the main character looks tore up, man. It's pretty crazy. But anyways, I had fun with this one. The only pet peeve I have with this one, I feel like the levels are a little bit too long. It took me almost 10 minutes to get through the first level, and I don't know, that just didn't sit right with me. But other than that, you pretty much have a shovel and you get a gun as well. You collect money during the levels and use that money for upgrades towards the end of the level. You will be fighting a boss at the end of the level, and the boss I fought was fairly pretty easy, had a pretty good pattern going for him, so it didn't take me too long to beat him, but just going through the levels was just kind of annoying, but still, it was fun. Just remember too that you can play this game kind of as a running gun, but you got to remember that you could run out of ammo, so you have to do it sparingly. But game has a lot of potential, I would say, so definitely check this one out if you like what you're seeing. Here's Smelter, Forged from Hell. I'm telling you guys, right, this is probably my favorite game on this list. This game is so much fun. Now, the game starts off with a story of Adam and Eve, pretty much. And the story goes as if Adam had taken the apple and ate it, and the world gets all messed up, and you play as Eve, pretty much. And as Eve is traveling, she finds this suit of armor called Smelter. And from the point when she gets that armor, man, that's where the game starts, pretty much. Now, you have a world map where you can go to each level, and when you get to these levels, your armor gets certain abilities that are pretty specific for that level. But what I like about it is that it's not afraid to stop the action to kind of prepare you for the next section of the game, I would say. So you could be in the middle of a level, and the level's playing out a certain way, and all of a sudden it'll change up. You're getting chased by something. So it'll kind of prepare you for those moments so so it won't catch you by surprise, which is really nice. I think what's going to pull a lot of people into this game is not only the sprite-based graphics, but the soundtrack. The soundtrack for this game is great. I'm telling you, it really fits every moment, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that. Very happy this game got a physical release. Now, I do want to warn some people. This game is really story driven, so there'll be a lot of scenes where you have to like read a lot of dialogue. Now, you can skip the dialogue, of course, but I just want people to be prepared for that. The game has a good story to it, you know, and I wish there was an easier way to kind of for people to skip it, especially if you want to do like speed runs and things like that. But unfortunately, as of right now, there's no way to really skip all of it like immediately. You have to kind of like just keep mashing the button to go through the dialogue. But definitely, everyone, I want you to try this game out if you haven't. I think you'll have a good time. And I want to leave you with a small gameplay trailer. This will get you pumped up. So here's Mayhem Brawlers. I didn't know about this game until my buddy Kyle hooked me up with this game. So pretty much this is like a precursor to like, well, it feels like it's a prototype for Streets of Rage 4. I feel like the same people worked on this game. But this game you play as cops, and I like this game a lot because you can kind of choose your path where you go on the next level. So and it has this comic book style that kind of keeps you hooked to it. But the game suffers from online play. Unfortunately, there's no online play. So I wish they would have come up with a AI like partner to help you out during the game, kind of like Final Fight 3. But it doesn't have that. But the game is story driven, and I still think it's well done. So Mayhem Brawlers is definitely something I would say you guys should pick up.
Looks like it's time for buy a donut, get a free coffee.
Here's Space Wing War. So this is a shoot 'em up game, and when you see the graphics here, you can immediately notice that, hey, this is pretty much a Game Boy type game. I feel like they could have put this game on the Game Boy cartridge or whatever like that, but that's not really lucrative for them. I'm not gonna lie, it would be cool though, but I understand. So anyways, this being on the PS4, as you can see, the gameplay here is pretty simple. The game is fun, has a little bit of story mode to it as well. You can switch between 4 different weapons at any given time to kind of help you utilize like certain like obstacles or whatever like that. But you have to switch to them fast because you can see this game is kind of scrolling pretty fast and the stuff is pretty big, so you can actually crash and get stuck. So you got to be careful of that. But still, I had fun with this one. The only thing I wished that while I was capturing this footage was that I knew how to switch the color palette. I didn't know that at the time, so like seeing this screen the whole time I just really got tired of seeing it. I mean, the black and white is cool for nostalgia reasons, you know, for a certain period of time. But, you know, me personally, I got tired of it after like a minute, and I wish I knew to switch. But the game is still fun, even though I would say it's very basic. And at the end of certain levels, you will fight bosses. And the bosses are pretty entertaining, I would say. But I think that most people who are nostalgia about shoot 'em ups, especially ones on the Game Boy system, I think would definitely want to pick this game up. Plus, it comes with a cool slipcover case. Here's Metaloid Origin. So I feel like this is a sequel to Metagirl, if you guys remember when I talked about that game a couple years ago. And pretty much these games, they play like Mega Man adventure games. You know, they're platform action adventures. Now, you get to choose between 3 characters in the beginning, but remember this, when you do that, you have to stick with that character for the rest of the game. So if you don't like that character, make sure, you know, you switch immediately in the beginning so you don't have to go through the whole game like that. But besides that, I had fun playing this game. It can get a bit tough, I want to say. You know, it's not easy. It's not a cakewalk, so you're going to have to bring some skills. But if you're willing to, like, you know, try to learn this game, it's actually pretty fun. If I had to compare it to Metagirl, I would say this one is more enjoyable because with Metagirl, that game had, Metal Gal, excuse me, that game had a lot of like platform issues, like, you know, just, I don't know, like some of the levels were really tough in the beginning of the game, so I think that game really had a balance issue, at least it did for me. But I feel like this one will be more enjoyable for folks if they haven't played that one, so they can skip to this one, or just get both and hey, challenge yourself. I really love games like these because they're nostalgic of my childhood. You know, a lot of these games back in the day were very, very difficult. Example, Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 3. That freaking Yellow Devil boss and freaking the Doc Robot stages. Ugh, hated that. This game is nowhere as hard as some of those older games are, but they definitely bring some good challenge, I would say. So if you pick this game up, definitely be aware that you're going to get a challenge out of it. Here's Project Starship. So, very excited to play this game. I heard about it and I said, you know what, man, I can't wait to play this one. And I tried it out, and now I kind of understand why a lot of shoot 'em ups are kind of smaller on the screen, pretty much, because a widescreen shoot 'em up is very difficult to play. And I couldn't even get past the first level, unfortunately. You know, it's going to take a bit of work for me, you know, to get through this game, I would say. But man, the first level just tore me apart, and just if this game was a little bit, the screen was a little bit shorter, I probably would have did better. But man, it's tough, and there's so much stuff coming at you from both sides. You got to really move, and your ship is kind of slow. So I don't know if there's any power ups to like make it move faster later on. But man, I just could not get past the first level. But the game has potential. I like it, but it's tough. Actually, when I played a little bit further in the game, I did get a speed up option to help me move my ship around faster, but it still didn't help me that much because I was just getting it in this game. So it's going to take some practice. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this one. Here's Sofar. When I played this game, I immediately knew this is what I want in a shoot 'em up. This game is freaking fantastic. One of the things I really loved about this game is that as soon as you pick up the controller for it, things just feel so familiar. And when I say that, I'm talking about like the old school games that this game is kind of based off of, at least in the gameplay department. Now, one of this game's unique features is that you can actually teleport across the screen. So you can actually teleport out of bad situations. You have a timer on it, so there's cooldown and all that stuff, so you can't like take advantage of it. But man, you know, for skillful gameplay, that feature is really fantastic to have in this game. Another thing that I think people will like in this game is there's a plethora of ships to choose from. So you'll have a bunch to kind of test out your skills on, see which ship is like pretty much you prefer. And when it comes to like the gameplay too, you know, you only get 2 shots in this game. Like you have your regular default shot for that whatever ship you have, and then you have a charge shot that has a cool time as well. You can also slow your ship's movement speed just in case things are getting too fast for you. All in all, I think this game definitely has enough to bring in shoot 'em up fans to actually want to own it. I had a great time with this game, still having fun with it. Definitely keep this game on your radar. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely check out Redart Games catalog. I think a lot of people will be happy with the selection of games they have in their arsenal. But that's it for this video. Radical Reggie, and I will see you all later.